Thank you very much for the extensive update. Councillor Hill is up first.
Thank you very much, Chair. I noted early on in the presentation, you spoke about the West Extension. It spoke to the target timelines for testing and the process out to Moody, but I didn't see anything about Algonquin College or Baseline. I'm assuming that's in the same timeline, or can you speak to the testing evaluations and the process going out to Algonquin Station?
Yeah, thank you, Chair, for the question. I can talk broadly about what we are targeting for that period of time when we go through substantial completion, through trial running into revenue service. We're looking at the winter between 26 and 27. So leading into Q1 2027.
Thank you. And as you're looking to start the testing east, have you identified the root cause of the Confederation Line derailments to date?
Okay, thank you, Chair, for the question. If I may, I'd like to hand that question over for a response to Marco, the Director of Transit Engineering Services.
Yeah, Chair, thank you so much for the question. As you're aware, we have received root cause analysis by the vehicle manufacturer, which is Alstom. We've received multiple further reports, assessment, analysis. However, the responsibility was not clarified in terms of whose initial fault it is. If you may, would like to explain a little bit, as you're aware of the lateral forces, one of the leading contributor factor of the failure of the cartridge bearing axle. If you have a nail and want to push this nail into a wall, you can use your hammer and punches with a big bang into it, and you have a specific force towards it. You can have multiple, small punches like a woodpecker. What we are looking at the wheel bearing is the wear of the axle on the wheel bearing. There is a fatigue damage of this one. So the root cause is a complexity of the frequency of the loads that you are applying. And that is not only the lateral load that is applied on the axle bearing, that's a combination as well on vertical loads, whether it comes from passenger loading, whether it comes from corrugation, whether it comes from different friction of the rail wheel interface, whether it comes from the stiffness of the ballast, stiffness of multiple elements. What I want to say is there's a frequency spectrum of loads that leads to wear, fatigue wear on the axle where the bearing is located. The good news is we have enough technical content now that we can talk about actions and mitigation. You're aware of one path is the sustainable solution. So we are looking forward on how to have a new design of the axle, including a new bearing, as well other good elements as a sensor, temperature sensor, vibration sensor, and so on. On the other hand, intermediate solution or mitigation are underway as well, whether it's a top of rail lubrication, whether it's changes on the wheel flange lubrication, fixation of the retaining rail, etc., which we are currently implementing. The key element is the monitoring of the wear. Actually, we cannot really look at the fretting there, but the effect of fretting is the play, which we are continuously monitoring in order to state when there has to be a replacement of the bearing.
And from an engineering perspective, do you have a schedule or a projected timeline where you're targeting that you're in a phase where you identify and you can move forward and we can kind of put this behind us?
So what we are looking is the evidence of the implemented mitigation. So it's for us not enough, top of rail, the system is installed. What we want to see is a testing phase and results that come out of this, let's say, top of rail lubrication. Once this is done and we collect all the different mitigation actions, we run through our standard process, which is the safety assurance framework or system. We will run this one as an independent safety assurance with the sign off. It will be finally signed off from Sabrina as the Chief Safety Officer that satisfy our need. Yes, it's safe to bring back into a service operation.
And could you give an estimate of approximately how many axles we've gone through since the derailment?
Until now, we have replaced more than 700 cartridge bearing axle. So one cartridge, two cartridge are on an axle. So we have done more than 350 axle replacements, mainly on the motor bogie, mainly on the leading sides then.
And who bears the cost of that?
I believe currently it's within the contractor. Okay, I hand over.
Well, Mr. Chair, the cost associated with the axle bearing assembly, all the inspections, replacement parts, all that all resides with RTG and our contractor.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chair.